Hi, everyone. It's Angela Torres, and I'm here to keep it real with you and let you know what's going on now within the schools. As you may or may not have heard, we now have new policies that are going to be starting this Monday. And so it's really important for parents to really pay attention to see what this is all about. So now instead of having 10% of the students tested bi-weekly, they will be tested, 10% of them will be tested weekly. But let's talk about what this is really all about. It's only 10% of those students whose parents have consented to having them get tested. So what does that mean? You may have a school of 500 students, but only 30 students, parents, have submitted the consent forms. What that means is that only 3 students have to be tested. And you're going to be testing from that same pool of 30 students, which is not representative of everyone who's out there. So this is not something that is helpful at all. And it's something that's concerning, especially because at the same time that they're increasing how often the testing is happening, they are also decreasing and loosening the quarantining rules. And so what does this all mean? This means that we already know we have very crowded classrooms. So this whole thing of social distancing is like an impossibility. Now, are they trying? Are the schools trying to keep everyone socially distanced and making sure that the kids have their mask on and all of that? Absolutely. Listen, they are trying their very best to be able to do this. But they're fighting a losing battle. It's really difficult to make sure that every kid has their mask properly on at all times, from beginning of day to the end of the day. That, you know, they get hot, they get sweaty, they want to take it off, they want to move it. This is just natural and normal. So now they're saying that if you have unvaccinated students and they are exposed to someone who tests positive for COVID, or they themselves are COVID positive, with this new directive that's starting this Monday, they do not have to quarantine. They can come right back into the classroom and sit next to your child, Junior or Maria or whatever your child's name is, and have lunch with Maria, with your child, and all of this. Okay, so long as they had their mask on properly the whole entire time, as if they can, really attest to that, and as long as they have they've been 3 feet apart at all times. Look, any parent who is there at pickup or drop off, you don't even need to go into the building. You're able to clearly see that these kids are not able to be 3 feet apart. Forget about 6 feet apart. Not even 3 feet apart. Okay? They're all congregating and waiting. Look at the lines when people are dropping off and they are doing the testing, the DOE screening form, rather. When they're doing that DOE screening form, the kids are all on top of each other. So how is it that we can possibly expose our kids in this kind of way? As it is, look, just so you know, vaccinated in school are not being tested. Like, teachers who are vaccinated are not being tested at all. And so we have to rely on the fact that people feel symptoms and then they feel like, oh, all right, let me go get tested. And that's our only way of knowing what's really going on. Come on, Department of Education, do you not realize what they've been saying this whole time, which is that people who are asymptomatic can pass this along to others? Let me repeat that again. People who are asymptomatic are able to still pass COVID along to others. So explain to me why you're coming up with this policy where you're sending kids back in who maybe have no symptoms, but somehow they're not going to pass it along to anyone else. We have to consider the teachers, we have to consider the staff, we have to consider everyone who's in this scenario. And just because someone's vaccinated doesn't mean that they're not going to get it. I mean, we've seen plenty of situations of Well, we see these breakthrough cases where even though the person's vaccinated, still they get it. And so why is it that we are not really taking this seriously? Let's talk about the numbers. All right, so right now we're only a week and change into the school year, and you have over 592 students and 384 staff that have tested positive for COVID. Wait a minute. Let's think about this. This is just with the self-testing. Because remember, they're self-reporting at this point. Now is when, they're starting to have test and trace come in and do testing. But all of these numbers are coming really mostly from self-reporting. So what are the numbers going to be? And what would the numbers be if we weren't doing 10% of just those who signed the consent form, but we were doing 25% of everybody? What would those numbers really look like? And while we continue to not institute policies like that, what are we going to let the numbers get to? What's going to be the number where we say, you know what? Now we should really see about doing a remote option. Come on, the time is now. And parents have to wake up. I know parents who they are not sending their kids in at all because they're showing that as a vote of no confidence. But I'll tell you right now, even if you're not doing that, and you're sending your kid in, like I send my kid in, I just pray and I say, God, watch over my kid. And I taught her all the things that she needs to do to protect herself. You have to see what's going on within your school. You have to be part of the Community Education Council meetings. You have to be part of the PTA meetings, the town hall meetings. Every meeting that they have, you want to be there. You want to know what's going on, because otherwise you're going to be kept in the dark. And keep up with what's going on. You can watch this vlog. I'm always going to let you know what's going on. But it's important because these are our kids, our greatest treasures. And how is it that we are going to allow such policies that work against us and actually that don't even agree with the science of what we've been told? And then sometimes they say, oh, we don't understand why parents don't trust, why parents why we have areas where they're not highly vaccinated. It's because things like this make trust go away. And so parents, keep doing what you're doing. Keep listening. Keep, advocating for your child. Keep those conversations going with your child. And I wish you guys the best as this new school year begins. All right. See you guys next week.